Hi there, my name is Larry Bartlett, and I'm a 22-year resident of Alaska and chairman of the Alaska Backcountry Hunters and Anglers. A few months ago, our organization put in a request to the National Park Service to restore a remote airstrip along the Charlie River that was blown out by a massive flood event in 2013. That was 4 years ago. And since then, that strip known as Gelvins was unusable by all accounts. No planes could land there, and that requires some significant adjustments to logistics to access this river corridor, which is in a designated wilderness area. Washed out about 100 yards. That's where it came through right there. To our amazement, the Park Service approved our project request, and on June 6th we entered the field to restore that airstrip with 3 volunteers and 1 ranger, Nick Thompson, from the Yukon Charlie National Park and Preserve. So basically, we needed the Park Service to help us with logistics and manpower if necessary to enter the field and restore this strip. Since it's in designated wilderness area, no motorized tools or equipment can be used. So if those such tools are needed, the Park Service would have to authorize that and provide us with helicopter support to sling load gravel if necessary to restore this strip. And the small group of volunteers that actually committed to this adventure performed flawlessly, and we worked for 10 long days and moved over 100 tons of rock and gravel to effectively restore this strip to over 700 feet of usable airstrip. And we filmed the project, and we thought that it would be a good opportunity for you to see what organizations like ours and the National Park Service does for public lands interest. In this case, it restored a safer, more viable access option to the Charlie River, which is known as Gelvins. And that saves you about 25 miles of floating through potentially shallow and sketchy class 2 to 3 character, depending on water levels. And this is a great destination for hunting and sightseeing. So we thought it would be a great idea to restore that airstrip and spread out the impacts of human access and do a badass job for public lands. And I believe we accomplished that task. On day 1, we entered the field from Fairbanks with a caravan to Coal Creek, where the helicopter was staged. And the helicopter gave us access to the airstrip and then helped us move many tons of rock and gravel to this airstrip so that we could repair it by hand with very minimal tools. Just to give you an idea of what kind of material we actually moved. We weighed pretty much everything that we did out there in terms of moving gravel and rock, just to give us some qualitative data to give the Park Service to show the kind of work that public landowners are willing to do to restore access to wild public lands. And basically what we did was moved rock and gravel by hand with 5-gallon buckets and wheelbarrows and shovels, and we used the helicopter as assistance to move large boulders and bulk material from basically 200 to 300 yards away from the strip near the river, where we could collect local materials. By wheelbarrow loads, from day 1 to day 8, we had moved 117,800 pounds of gravel. We moved 52,600 pounds of stone, boulders, large gravel by sling load. But the interesting thing about the helicopter loads, the helicopter would drop 8 bags on the gravel bar. We would load them by hand, weighing each rock to make sure that we had the exact 700 to 900 pound range of the weight of sacks for the helicopter to sling load. So the depressing reality of that is you're effectively moving those rocks 2 to 3 times. One, to dig them up from the earth and to weigh them on the scale. 2, to pick them up and load the sacks. And 3, after the sling load is dropped, you have to unload those and place them where you need to be. So while 52,600 pounds of rock and gravel sounds impressive, think about moving it 3 times by hand. Total materials used from local sources, 170,400 pounds. Total material moved by hand, 207,400 pounds. So we filmed a snapshot of that project to give you an idea of the level of commitment required to do work for wild public lands. And as a member of Alaska Backcountry Hunters and Anglers, I'm proud to say that we accomplished our goal, and I'm going to take out at Gelvins here in a couple of days after floating from Three Fingers down. And hopefully that strip is fully functional, because we've yet to see an airplane land on it after our work has been completed. Well, I made it to Gelvins in 14 hours on the water, a day and a half. And strip doesn't look like anyone's landed on it, so Zach will likely be here tomorrow and he'll be the first. And I gotta say, Nick, really? We worked so hard on this beautiful strip and you're gonna exit out? Well, I'll let you know how safe it was. I know you wanted to be the first to land here, buddy, but Daddy just couldn't wait. Love you, brother. Peace out. Easy.
Dude, it's awesome. It rocks.
That was a quick landing. You like it?
Yeah. Way to go, man.
Yeah, good. Zoom in on
There's a lot of people that owe you a lot of respect.
Shit, I don't know about that.
At least the beer.
Your opinion is all that matters. You're a public landowner, pilot.